The last bullet. The desert did not forgive mistakes. Heat shimmered across the endless horizon as Sheriff Daniel pressed his back against a jagged rock, sweat tracing lines through the dust on his face. The silence between gunshots felt heavier than the shots themselves. Then, bang! A bullet cracked through the air, striking stone inches above his head. Across from him, crouched low and breathing hard, Marcus reloaded his revolver with trembling hands. The metal clicked like a ticking clock. They were surrounded. Shadows moved behind dunes. Boots scraped against sand. The bandits were closing in, patient, confident. They knew time was on their side. Daniel closed his eyes for a brief second, not to escape, but to think. "Marcus," Daniel said calmly, his voice steady against the chaos. "What's our situation?" Marcus fired again. Bang! A distant shout followed. Then Marcus paused, just for a moment. "Sheriff," Marcus said, his voice tight. "I've got good news and bad news." Daniel didn't flinch. "Bad news first." Marcus swallowed. The wind howled between them. "The bad news is," he said, glancing at the revolver, "we've got only one bullet left." The words hung in the air like a death sentence. For a second, the desert felt even larger, even emptier. Daniel said nothing. Another shadow moved closer. "All right," Daniel said quietly. "What's the good news?" Marcus looked at the gun again. His grip tightened. Something shifted in his eyes, not outside, but inside. "The good news," Marcus said slowly, "is that we still have one bullet left." Silence. No gunfire, no movement, just wind. Daniel opened his eyes. Nothing had changed. The enemies were still there. The desert was still endless. Death was still close enough to feel. And yet, everything had changed. A faint smile touched the corner of Daniel's lips. "One bullet," Daniel repeated softly. "Not the end. A choice. A chance. A decision." Daniel adjusted his stance, the weight of fear loosening its grip on his chest. "Then we're not finished," he said. Marcus exhaled, steadier now. His hands stopped shaking. The revolver was no longer a symbol of the end. It was a tool. One shot, one moment, one opportunity. The bandits began to move in. Daniel leaned slightly from behind the rock, eyes sharp, mind clear. "Make it count," Daniel said. Marcus nodded. The desert held its breath. And in that single bullet was everything. Vocabulary from your story. 1. Revolver. A type of gun with a rotating cylinder that holds bullets. Example: Marcus reloaded his revolver with trembling hands. 2. Surrounded. Having enemies or people on all sides. Example: they were surrounded by bandits in the desert. 3. Trembling. Shaking because of fear or weakness. Example: his hands were trembling as he held the gun. 4. Death sentence. A situation that almost certainly leads to death. Example: the last bullet felt like a death sentence. 5. Choice. The ability to decide between options. Example: one bullet was still a choice. 6. Chance. An opportunity to do something. Example: They still had a chance to survive. 7. Decision. A final choice after thinking. Example: that moment required a strong decision. 8. Steady, calm, and not shaking. Example: his hands became steady again. 9. Tool. Something used to achieve a purpose. Example: the gun became a tool, not fear.